So I've referenced it a few times before, but the big problem of society, of politics, whatever, not touched as much on in politics, is, an epidemic of loneliness and of, as our prosperity increases, people's happiness has been decreasing, like a spirituality crisis, right? And there's a lot of causes for this, but the one that I want to focus on today is people not being optimistic about later stages of life, not optimistic about their 20s and 30s and 40s, and being like, oh my God, I wish I could go back and watch my favorite anime for the first time or go to prom again, whatever it is. People feel as though adult life is work and that their best years are behind them and their best moments are behind them. And just starting with some context, right, is, your peaks are defined, like not every day can be a peak day, right? And by definition, like everything is relative, right? So your peak days are relative to your baseline days. Most moments are going to be baseline days, baseline moments. And when people look back, because they haven't experienced the peak days in their future, the only peak days they have for reference are their peak days in their past, right? The first time they went to Disney, the first time they did an amusement park, a lot of first times are going to stand out in memory as those peak moments. And as you clear all of your first times and you experience true Kino, maybe Silk Song will come out and you'll be like, wow, this shit's fire. But most days are not going to be Kino days. They're going to be farther and farther apart because obviously as you experience more and more, there's less things for you to experience for the first time. But I think that the key thing that people are missing on this kind of piece of things is you can only experience something for the first time once and it'll only feel that special and that memorable and that unique that first time. But you can show 1,000 young people, you can teach the same lesson 1,000 times and it'll still be as important and as impactful, when you see that spark in their eyes, right? And the reward of, it shouldn't be like, oh, I have no more of these peak moments to look forward to. It's like, oh, I get to see my little brother or my nephew or my son or my friend's son or my friend's daughter, experience this for the first time or help them through this problem for the first time or whatever it is. And there's 10,000 of those waiting. And that I feel like is the next, what is the word? There's a transition between, for your first 20 years, you're kind of just focused on yourself and everyone in your life is giving you free stuff because you're a kid and everyone loves kids. But the next 20 years, or 30 or 40 or 50, maybe when you're old enough, people start taking care of you again. But your next 40 years are focused on taking care of other people and helping them. And that's where you get those key moments from. And I feel like the big problem is that a lot of 20-somethings, it feels like they're not growing up. It feels like they're not excited about taking on more responsibility, excited about taking on the next step, excited about moving on to adulthood. And it feels like there's this desperate pull towards the things that were good when you were a kid. When you were a kid, it's good in a good society for a kid to play World of Warcraft for 8 hours a day. We did it, guys. We built a society where kids could have fun for 8 hours a day on World of Warcraft or run around in circles or do whatever kids want to do, right? It's a inadmirable quality in someone who needs to start bearing a little more responsibility for the society around them. And it doesn't work, right? There's no 28-year-old who spends, unless Silk Song came out yesterday, let's be honest, who spends 8 hours a day playing video games. If you do it every day. Silk Song, we make exceptions for. But most of these people are not excited, they're not satisfied, they're not happy, and they're trying to cling to that past, what gave them happiness in the past, what worked for them in the past, and they're not moving forward, they're not taking the next step, and they feel maybe they can't, and they just need a little push, and they just need to do it. And maybe this video is your push. But yeah, I think I'll wrap it up there, is it's not just oh no, taking on more responsibility and getting more shit done and being more competent and being more capable and being a pillar in your community and in your family and in your friend group and doing cool shit is fun and it's rewarding and it's exciting and it's happy. And it has good knock-on effects, as you can imagine. One of the minor side effects of this is I'm slightly worried, not just about the next generation, but out the one after, where it's like, okay, these guys are all iPad kids, whatever. But then they have kids, and then who those kids learn from is the iPad kids, and it's like, oh geez, we need more mentors, you know? We need more responsible adults. But all right, I think that was a pretty good one. Catch you guys later.